What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. All right, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints, who, in an absolute battle on Sunday, them and the Philadelphia Eagles going toe-to-toe, looking like the Saints found a way, even though the offense had come crashing back down to earth this week, looking like the Saints had found a way to maybe win the game. They drive down Chris Olave, a beautiful toe-tap touchdown with only a minute left in the game. You take a 5-point lead. Now, crucially, 2-point conversion, you fail. And obviously that we can talk about the impact that ends up having. But you still take the lead. You're up by more than 3. You feel at that moment your defense, which has been shutting the Eagles down, you don't feel it's a guarantee, but you feel like you got a pretty good chance.
You had the advantage for sure.
You had the advantage. And unfortunately, you just could not make the plays defensively. You had the incidental hands to the face, which probably would have been, about a 3rd and 15 to a first down. Only a 5-yard penalty, begins with fresh set of downs. And then you had the 61-yard or 65-yard Goddard catch where classic man-to-man coverage, rub route over the middle, and just an awful visual as 3 different Saints run into each other in the middle of the field, and Goddard just has unlimited area in front of him with which to run, and they end up scoring. They end up taking a lead. And then right at the beginning of what could be a game-winning drive, and Derek Carr's been good at this. Remember, I was being a bit tongue-in-cheek last week, but it's like since 16, more touchdown drives to take the lead. I think within 2 minutes, you saw it the drive before, even though it technically wasn't within 2, than any other quarterback in the league. So I was still holding out a little hope. Pressure got to him. Bad decision, bad throw, pick, game over.
Game, set, match.
Game, set, match. So there's a lot to break down here. My overall feeling is this. Does it suck because it felt like even with all the bad, you'd put yourself in a position to win at the end? Yes, it hurts. A loss always hurts. But do not overreact to this. The same way that we said, look, the offense is going to come back, try not to overreact to me. Do not overreact to this. I think you are still a good team. What that defense did is still an elite defense. Credit to the Eagles for countering your offense. I think Kubiak will work to counter the counter. You got the Falcons this Sunday. You win that game, you're 3-1. Everything's all good. And again, because sometimes you have to look around to maintain perspective, the Tampa Bay Bucks, who have looked just as good as you through 2 weeks, they go get completely dominated 26-7 by the Denver Broncos. Okay? Like the NFL's weird. And you took an Eagles team that was back against the wall, hungry, granted, trending in the wrong direction, which made the most disappointing part about all this. They've not won a lot recently. But you took them, you had them, but you allowed them to escape with really 3 big plays. The long Saquon run, the Goddard catch at the end, and really Goddard's day as a whole. The
Goddard catch at the end.
Day. Yeah. Yes, he was Goddard mode.
Yeah.
And then beginning of the fourth quarter, you have 4th and 1, up 3-0 in the Philly red zone. You run it twice, 3rd and 1, 4th, and you get stuffed both times. That's bad. It's bad. And that's how you lose at the end of the day.
All right, so here's a little bit of the worry for me. In the NFL, you can have a start like the Saints did, and it was incredible. It was making a lot of us eat a lot of crow, which is great. I want to be able to do that. Saints are good. Things are good here, right? But you get 2 weeks of film on them.
Yeah.
And it was new. Now, if it was old, if it was something that you were established, you had your coordinator for 3-4 years, your system for 3-4 years, and I'd be like, okay, I'll hand wave this. A little bit of my worry is, well, now you've got 2 weeks of film on what the Saints are trying to get done. Derek Carr, 14 of 25, only 142 yards, only 5.7 yards per attempt, right? That number's way down from what he had been. Alvin Kamara, 26 carries, 87 yards, only 3.3 yards per carry. The running lanes didn't look like they did in the first couple of weeks. Dallas getting hammered, yesterday again. It's like, oh, man, well, I thought that maybe held up a little bit better. Carolina being Carolina, although we'll get to the Red Rifle a little bit later on in the show. Another thing that gives me a little bit of worry, Rashid Shaheed, no catches, 5 targets.
Yeah.
He was kind of the thing that unlocked everything for you in the first 2 games. His speed beat coverages that only speed can beat. And he was targeted 5 times and came up with 0 catches. Those are things. Defense was awesome. I know that Saquon Barkley went off. I know he had a couple of really big hitters, including a 65-yarder. But you held an NFL team with someone who finished second in the MVP at quarterback not that long ago to 15 points.
And
that's going to be good enough to win. It should be every single time.
And Hurts's leg's going to kill you. You picked him off. You forced a fumble. You got 2 turnovers on downs. Like the defense gave you 4.
You sacked him 4 times?
Yeah, Brian Brzee had 2 alone.
Yeah.
You forced him into 4 turnovers.
Yes.
Defense is awesome.
The defense giving up 15 points to that offense, that's good enough to win. And Dennis Allen was said, I will take that right now if you said 15 points to the Eagles. And all of 15 points coming in the fourth quarter, right? I mean, they didn't score for the first 3 quarters, if I'm not mistaken. So offensively, the worry is, okay, now the book's out. Now we've got some tendencies. Now we kind of know what you're trying to get done. I'm not saying that it can't revert back and be somewhere in the middle. I think it can, but that is the worry now for the Saints. What do you do to adjust to the adjustment? Because – at first, we thought, okay, well, you're going to run some 49er Shanahan principles, and they did, but they did their own thing as well. Well, now that your own thing's on tape, you're going to have to adjust based off what the defense is adjusting to you.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.